Hey, what's going on, people? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com, and we're going to talk about a concept which I believe is what everything is about. Everything. Everything. Math, science, school, metaphysics, spiritual world, everything. Everything. Deep tissue massage, making a coffee. I'm going to use the phrase manifesting, or the word manifesting, manifestation. In fact, I'm going to do it. Candle. I'm going to give you a very simple concept that I came to when I went through my awakening. I had a 6-month awakening period there. It was like information was being downloaded and I started to understand things that never even crossed my mind. Okay, so we're lighting up the big mortar. Alright people, here we go. Ready? Alright, so it's a really simple concept. It's so simple, it's going to answer everything you've ever been like. Manifesting is actually easy. I think people complicate it, and that's when you get really frustrated with it. It's like, it's so easy. I'm going to make it real easy. I'm trying to actually stretch this video out, but I don't. It's too simple. Alright, here's what manifesting is. When I was going through this awakening period, it was like, I imagined. Okay, here's one of the things that I came to understand. It wasn't just an understanding, because I started manifesting things. I was like, well, that's a fucking trip. Okay, I'll give you one. It is a form of manifesting, but we call it healing. It was really manifesting. There was a girl that I knew. We were in our 20s, early 20s, and she was freaking out because she got pregnant. She was a Christian. My mom's going to kill me. You know, she did 5 home tests, to make sure. And then she went and made an appointment with her doctor. They did 2 tests. All of them were like, you're pregnant. And they're all, I think, positive, or how they do that. And she's like, oh, and she's crying. And so I was really kind of worried about her. And then a couple of days later, my girlfriend and I, we went to the mall. And I kind of brought the subject up, and what I really did was I actually tuned into the spirit world and then to the baby. Like, would it be okay if you come back in another lifetime, or maybe down the road when she's married? And there was this sense of, yeah, it's no big deal. And so as we were walking through, one of the things I learned in hypnosis is there's something called a pattern interrupt. And anytime you walk through a door or a doorway, or from one building into another, or whatever, a passageway, your brain kind of has to reorient itself. And when it's reorienting itself, that's when you can slip in the embedded command, okay, or the thought. And so as we were going into that, it's another thing. It's a questioning pattern we use. I said, what would happen if the baby disappeared, or not disappeared, but went back to heaven and came back another lifetime? She goes, what? And I said, go ahead and imagine. I was doing embedded commands. Imagine dropping out of you, the spirit going all the way up. And as we're walking in, there's a big crest, 50, 80 yards up ahead of this big, massive thing on the floor. And what would happen if it dropped out of you, the spirit, went all the way down, all the way down to the middle of earth, and then it went all the way back up to heaven? And she goes, well, that would be okay. And I'm not going to tell you everything I did. And after that, I basically said, yeah, you're not pregnant. She goes, no, Michael, I am pregnant. I've been tested. I think at that point she was tested 7 times or something, 7 or more. I'm like, no, you're not pregnant. And she goes, no, Michael, you don't understand. I really am. And my girlfriend goes, no, you don't understand. Like, he knows these things. She goes, what? I go, yeah, I'm telling you, you're not pregnant. Go home. In fact, there was a Walgreens in the mall. I go, we're going to go in there. I want you to buy 2 tests and then make an appointment with your doctor. You're not pregnant. All of the tests showed negative. So here's my point. I've been doing the reason why I share that story was because it wasn't like I read a book and, oh, it says to believe, so I believe, and therefore it is. No, I had to start feeling, seeing, knowing, experiencing, watching other people, have these things happen, right? And I noticed it always happened when you absolutely believed. It was just like, all right, here it is. In the hypnosis training, we did a 5-week NLP hypnosis training in Hawaii. And I got this guy that was this big, buff bodybuilder. He was huge. And I had to hypnotize his brain to believe that he couldn't pick up a pen. He laughed. I fucking laughed. The crowd laughed because it was all students. It was like 300 people there, 500, I forget how many. And I'm in front of all these doctors and professionally educated people, and I was like, oh God, this is not going to work. So I was like, fuck it. And I thought, you know what, fuck it. Let's see what happens. I threw out that doubt. I said, fuck it. Let's see what happens. And I followed the script and I did all the things and he did it. I was watching and I did everything, gained the report, did all the techniques we were taught. When he went to pick up the pen, he couldn't pick it up. And he's like, you could see this look of loss on his face. And I thought, oh, he's faking. What a bull. And I literally blurted, I go, look, dude, I go, it's totally okay. Because you had to pass this test before they would give you the certification, but you had they would let you do it again later that day and again the next day, and they would give you other tasks. So I said, hey, don't even worry about it, man. Like, it's totally okay. You don't got to fake it for me, because some people are faking it in the other people's tasks. And he goes, no, he goes, dude, I can't pick it up. I'm like, dude, it's okay. And he's dripping. Now Hawaii was pretty warm, but it wasn't that hot. We had an air conditioner in the room, but it was still pretty warm. And he's just drenched, and he's just like got this panicked look. And I'm looking, I'm like, are you being for real? He's like, dude, he goes, I can't pick up the fucking pen. So this went on for a while. The people were like clapping, and it was an awesome thing. And so I took him out of the fucking hypnosis, and he picked it up. Here's my point. It's all about belief. The question is, can you get yourself to believe? That is what it's all about. So I started thinking about something about the belief of people believing that they're going to go to hell because they're a sinner. Most people don't even know what that word sin means. Here, I'm going to tell you what it means right now. Do you know what it means to sin? There's an artery in your lower reptilian brain. When it narrows and closes down, it takes you out of the right brain. The right brain is the emotional, creative, spiritual brain. Right? This is the open door to God and spirit. I actually learned that in Hawaii, and then I learned it in Reiki, and then I learned it in Huna. I already said that. Well, Hawaii. And I learned another spiritual group. I thought, why? Everyone's saying the same damn thing. And I went, well, Jesus says, oh God, I forget what he says, but it's the Holy Grail. The eye of the needle is that artery. When it's narrow, your pupils are tiny, like needle pinpoints. Women, I know you know what I'm talking about because men do it all the time. When your artery is narrow, it shuts you down and actually puts you in your lower reptilian brain, which is either or, right or wrong. And you think in terms of everything is either or this, either this or that, right or wrong, left or right, hamburger or pizza. Why not both? The right brain thinks in terms of both. I can have a hamburger and I can have a pizza at the same time. That's part of the course, by the way. So I started thinking, if you go to hell because you believe it, that means you can get out of hell if you believe it. Now here's what I believe happened. People that do go to hell, it's a belief. And when you're there, you suffer and you suffer and you suffer. And then, watch this. After you suffer so much, you're just like, it's like you daydream for ice cream, for water. You daydream that you were back on earth or maybe in heaven. And poink! You're in heaven. You're back on earth. You got ice cream. It's because you believe it. Beliefs can be good or bad. Here's the cool thing about beliefs. They're not real. Beliefs are not real, but they are powerful. Whatever you truly believe is what you create. And that's the whole thing about my last video that I just uploaded last night about the Wizard of Oz. At the very end, the Oz was saying, you don't need a medal to believe that you're courageous. You don't need a degree to be intelligent. You already are. But our society has created it to where someone else needs to award you and say, now that you followed my rules, now you have a degree, which means you're intelligent. Or now, because I pinned this medal on you, now you're courageous. In fact, they got us to believe that you're not intelligent until they say you're intelligent. Here's the degree, now you're intelligent. Bullshit, you were always intelligent. Here's the Medal of Honor, now you're brave. Bullshit, you were always brave. You never needed that medal and you never needed that degree. That is the lie. Whatever you believe is true. So even if you're a genius, if you don't believe you're a genius, you will not function as a genius. And if it takes for someone else to give you a piece of paper that says you're intelligent to be intelligent, suddenly, magically, now I'm intelligent. It's all about what you believe. Beliefs are all made up. It's like, okay, for example, you used to believe in Santa Claus, didn't you? I bet some of you still do. I remember when I was a kid, God, I was young. I was like 4.5. My brothers and sisters, they found out that Santa Claus was mom and dad because they caught him. And they told me, I was like, oh, and I cried, and it was fucking horrible. And then I believed in the Tooth Fairy. Then my fucking older brother, he was like 2 years older. I was a little kid. I was like 5 or 6. I forget how old I was. He goes, you know, mom's the one who puts the money under your pillow, right? And I fucking cried again. No, it's not true. Well, those are beliefs I used to absolutely believe. And then all of a sudden the belief was gone. And so here's the cool thing and the bad thing about beliefs. Whatever you believe, you are right. And that is true. If you believe you're going to hell, guess what? You're going to go to hell until you start. Now, here's the cool thing, though. Daydreaming is a way of believing. Like, you just imagine it. Here's what I mean. So a belief can take you to a bad situation or to a good situation. And this is what is so fucked up with those demonic Christians, not all Christians, but some of them, who tell you that you're going to hell. And what they're doing is they will continue to do it. They'll use the Bible and everything to convince you. Let me tell you, people, those are demonic narcissists that have invaded your church. And yes, they have infiltrated the church, the government, the corporate world, and everything. Avoid them. Cut them out of your life. It just depends on what you choose to believe. And here's the cool thing. You get to choose what you imagine. And that's what it is. You're imagining. When I say belief, I probably should say imagine. Whatever you imagine is what you create. That's manifesting. Done. Period. But you have to imagine as if you're associated. Now, here's what I mean. I remember when I was a little kid, I think it was kindergarten. In fact, I'm sure it was. Might have been. Well, I think I did in first grade, second, and third too. School was hell. It was, oh my God. And the fucking clock was there every fucking second. That second hand went around, and every minute, fuck, you're 7 minutes in, and you just, after a while, 15 minutes maybe even 7 minutes, you start to kind of float off. And I remember specifically the windows here. I'm looking out the window, and I'm looking at this kid riding his bike, and I got caught up in my brain about being. Now, this is what I mean by associated. You're on the bike, or you're in the car. It's like you're driving, you're grabbing the steering wheel, right? And you're so caught up in the dream that in that moment it seems real. Because I remember riding around and my friends, and the creek was over there. We weren't even by the creek. That was in my class. And the creek was there, and I was going over the little bridge, and all of a sudden they go, Michael, are you paying attention? It was like I woke up from a dream. Those dream states are where you go. This is a dream. You listening to me is a dream. Where are you sitting, laying down right now is a dream. The cool thing about all of this, it's all a dream. You get to choose your dream. See you guys later. Bye.